All right. Okay. We're in a Monday, the 18th of December. Uh, it's about 3:30 in the afternoon. We've been out doing tinkering with the cabinet and getting it finally glued up and everything. It's pretty much completed as far as the gluing is concerned. Um, I'm gonna try to keep from sanding all the way down to bare wood. I'm going to use some restore finish on it and see if I can't salvage what finish is there, and then we're going to go over it with probably a semi-gloss finish instead of a glossed one on this one. I was going looking at this wonky internal loop antenna that it's pretty much like copper baling wire, and it's all slinkified and everything, and it's not holding its shape like it should. So and some of these strappings are warped up and separated and everything. They're not. It's just not. It ain't cutting it. That's what I really want to say. So I'm going to take and do a modification to this antenna with these. These are things that I think this is Pet G stuff. I ordered some to play around with, and I figured, well, this might be a good way to get these things molded. And what I did was I made a bunch of sets with flats and crinkles, and what I'm going to do is get these things fitted onto there like that. That's going to hold those things separated like that. And what we're going to do is we're going to use these grommets, eyelets, I should say. These are eyelets, 1/8 inch, pretty much like what those are. Those are 1/8 inch thereabouts. They're not quite the same, but I think they'll work. These here are a little too short, but I have some other ones coming that have a longer reach on them that will go completely through both of those thicknesses, and then I can get them all brushed up and everything once I get them fitted up. And we'll get that thing looking straight for a change. One thing I wanted to cover was I got this off of eBay probably about 8 or so years ago, about 8 years ago. And what got me started in this thing about 8 years ago was my cousin had a secondhand shop here in Cottonwood, and he had a couple of console radios in there. One was a Philco, and the other one was a Coronado consoles, and they didn't work. And he had them up for sale, and I says, well, you might get more from them if they kind of work pretty good. Some people do go for these things. Well, come to find out, the Philco model was about the best looking of the two, and it belonged to his, I think it belonged to his parents. So I said, why don't you let me take a crack at fixing it, getting it working. And he said, okay. So he dropped it off at my place, and I took it apart and everything and tinkered with it. But before I did all that, and I knew he had the radio for sale, I seen this on eBay, and I ran across it, and I figured, well, it's 300 pages, and it covers everything you could possibly need to know about the thing, and it's pretty in depth. I mean, for 300 pages, it better be pretty in depth. And I read it from cover to cover, and then I hit him up on the possibility of taking a crack at getting it fixed, because when I was a kid in 8th grade, first year of high school, I found a radio in the trash bin and took it home, and the casing was cracked. But I figured, well, it had all its tubes with it, and it looked like it was pretty much intact. So I pulled the chassis out of the thing, and I tinkered with it and got it, and had my dad take me down to the drugstore, and they had those tube testers in the thing, and I tested the tubes, and got me some replacements. I took it back home and tinkered with it some more and got it working. And I thought, hey, that's pretty cool. I kind of buzzed myself a couple of times with it, not really knowing what, but I knew there was power in the doggone thing, and I was a little skittish about getting zapped. But you know, after you get a good kick in the butt a couple of times, you don't sweat it too much anymore. So, and I still get shocked from time to time when I'm not paying attention to what I'm doing, but it's only one hand. It goes across 2 points. The other one I usually try to keep to myself. And this book got me started in the doggone thing, and then of course watching people on YouTube doing the same thing, and been doing it ever since now. I'm not an electrical. I don't have a background in electrical engineering, and I was a construction worker most of my life, working on in the sheet metal trade. I was also a day laborer. Handled a shovel, fit my hand pretty good, wheelbarrow, that kind of thing when I was a kid, like 16 or 17. And then was a commercial electrician for a while, apprentice for a few years. What else did I do? I was a computer operator, the old IBM mainframes, the System 360s and 370s. I did that for a few years. I kind of jack of all trades and master of none. Well, I started this, so like I said before, if I can do it, everybody else can do it. So I just wanted to pass that along and bend your ear for a few minutes, get this video going a little bit longer than usual. So the cabinet is out here. I got the speaker all cleaned up and everything. I managed to pull that off and get it aside so I could clean it up and get it ready to go. Here's my little jiggy thing that I put those things in. I use these little bales. I chopped these off an old bale handle for a 5-gallon bucket, and I stuck these, used these in place of those little grooves right there. I built this a few years ago because I had a Philco that didn't have an antenna in it like the one you see in there. I think it was a 40-155 or something like that. Didn't come with the antenna in it, so I had to make one ordered me some copper and made one. And press that down there, clamp it down, use my heat gun, and it formed those things up real nice and quick like. But this here, I got this filled in. That's the little chip that was missing in one side of the thing. And over here, this has all been re-glued up and everything. So I gotta take and scuff it scuff it a little bit to bring it some of the scratches and stuff out of it. And then I'm going to use some of that Restore finish on it and see what it looks like, if it's going to do any good. Otherwise, I'm just going to have to take it down. Here is some that I did on the back panel. And it looks even. It looks even. This over here, I haven't done anything to it. I only did the first two things from here down to see what it was going to look like, and it's workable. So I'm going to try and hit this here the same way and see what it looks like after it dries and everything. And then we might opt to put a thin coat. If it's a little too rough, we'll put a little thin coat of couple of thin coats of aqua coat on that thing to get it a good smooth finish on the thing. And hopefully that won't take too long a time to get done. This here I'm going to sand it down, scuff it up real good, and we're going to put some gold back on this. This here is going to have to be redone, probably with some staining, because it's a little scuffied up, along with some of this stuff here. So stay tuned, we're going to have more. This here is going to have to be filled. It looks like somebody might have had a clamp on it or something like that. So we'll have to get that. We'll have to get that schmoozed out. That's about the only indentations there are on this thing, other than that chip missing. So anyway, I've talked your ear off enough. Stay tuned for the next segment. We might be starting a new project. So thanks for watching.